Hello everybody, welcome back to the attic. I'm Andy. Today we're going to be talking about something that's near and dear to me, a very special piece. Has a lot of personal meaning to me. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this as far as the intro goes, because I want to talk about the piece itself and what it means to me, and also what this person had accomplished in their I guess sports career, if you want to call it, life in general, their accomplishments. So with that being said, let me turn this camera around and we'll get started. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Alright everybody, before I get started here, you see this picture in front of you, and this is Mr. Andy Tomasic, a Whitehall native. When I was about 14 years old, 15 years old, and I was playing baseball myself, he was actually a man that worked with my grandfather and my father at Fuller Steel Company, where I later on ended up working myself, but he was already retired by that time. So this is Andy Tomasic, and through the years of my dad and his company, having company picnics, I had met Andy twice, and he knew I was involved in sports, and I loved the game of baseball. And anyway, my dad must have, in conversation, told Mr. Tomasic that I played sports and I was into baseball, and that was my dream, to become a major leaguer, as it is most kids when they're growing up playing sports. And it just happened that one day I came home from practice. My dad said, I got something for you from your buddy Andy. And to this point, I really didn't even know that he played in the majors, or, as I'll get into it, the NFL as well. But to my surprise, there was this autographed picture that sits in front of you right now on the screen. And it says, "Andy, hoping that someday you will make the big time. Andy Tomasic, New York Giants Baseball Club, 1949. He also wrote on the back of this autographed picture, personalized autographed picture, spring training, Phoenix, Arizona, 1949, with the New York Giants Baseball Club. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, before I get into some details about Andy Tomasic, because I really didn't know much about him up until this point, and I knew, obviously he knew I was a baseball fan, and he gave my father this picture personally signed to me, along with this piece of paper that came along with it that he sent along too, with the National Football Foundation and Hall of Fame Lehigh Valley chapter. Whitehall graduate to be inducted into the National Football Foundation Hall of Fame Lehigh Valley chapter, Andrew J. Andy Tomasic. This is all about his high school, and then obviously he went to college and he spent time in the military. So I'm going to read a little bit about him, because I'm not sure how many of you out there know about him, know of him. I guess unless you're Pennsylvania, maybe native, or a huge New York Giants fan. He was born in Hockendakwa, PA, a small village within the boundaries of the modern-day Whitehall, PA. He was a 1942 graduate of Temple University. He attended Temple University between 1939 and 1941. He was the captain of the 41 football team and inducted into the Temple Hall of Fame in 1991. A little bit more about Andy. His nickname was Handy Andy. He was a triple threat football player at Temple from 1939 to 1941, as I just said, and an outstanding pitcher for the baseball team. He raced a lot of football records set by Sweet Hansen, Dave Smuckler, and Grover Wershing, and they're all in the Temple Hall of Fame themselves. As I just said, he was the captain of the 1941 Gridiron team, and his outstanding career included 2 records at the time. Most yards rushing in a career, 1,965, and total offense in a career, which is 4,532 yards. Not too shabby. His 130 points stood as a Temple career record for 27 years. He earned All East honors as a junior and a senior, and in 1942 played in the North-South and College All-Star games. As a baseball player, he won 11 straight games for the Temple Owls in 1940. After his graduation, he played both pro football and baseball. So I'll go into detail a little bit about that as well. He was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 16th round of the 1942 NFL Draft. He was a halfback, defensive back, and a return specialist for the Steelers. After making his NFL debut in 1942, he did not play from 43 to 45 as he served in the United States Army during World War II. He returned in 1946 in what would be his final NFL season. His NFL career statistics, passing yards 227 yards, rushing yards 214 yards, receiving yards 27, punt yards 660, punt return yards 219, punt return 1, 1 for a touchdown, kick return 94 yards, and 2 defensive interceptions. Just before retiring from the NFL, Andy had already began his professional baseball career in the minor leagues. With the 1946 Kinston Eagles, Kinston, North Carolina, of the Coastal Plain League, his many farm circuit successes earned him a big league call-up during the 1949 season. The New York Giants used Andy as a relief pitcher. Over the 2 games in which he appeared in, his win-loss record is 0-1 with 5 innings pitched, 10 earned runs, and striking out 2 while walking 5 batters, which isn't a stellar performance, but hey, he made the majors. That's all I could say. He was born December 10th, 1917, and he died November 27th, 2008, at the age of 90 years old. Like I said, I had met him a couple times prior to receiving this autograph photo at company picnics, and he was right around retirement age during those company picnics, and not once did he really let on, that he ever played in the majors or he was, a special athlete, until the day that I got this photograph and learned a little bit more about him. So anyway, the paper that I showed you earlier, and I read a little bit off of about his high school career. While attending Whitehall High School, he played and won letters in football, basketball, and baseball. Also participated in gymnastics, which when I went to high school, we didn't even have gymnastics. His coach was Bud Nevins. Upon graduation, he received a scholarship to Temple University, where he was a 3-year varsity tailback while playing for Temple. He received All-State recognition for 2 years and All-East for 2 years as well. He also received the weekly Maxwell Award, played in the blue and gray game in 1941. His coach was Pop Warner and Roy Morrison. So we've all heard of Pop Warner. In 1941, Andy was the runner-up to the great Tom Harmon for total yards in the country and was elected to play for the College All-Stars. 1942, he played 2 games that year, one against the Chicago Bears and 1 game against the Philadelphia Eagles. So, not too shabby. Short careers, and like a lot of guys back then, served this country, which cost them a few years of their athletic career, of their professional career. So anyway, Andy signed to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers and played 1 year before entering the U.S. Air Force, where he served 3 years overseas while in service. Andy played for the service football team, which won the Philippine South Pacific Championship. After his service years, he played 1 year with the Pittsburgh Steelers and then signed a major league contract with the Philadelphia Phillies. He was then traded to the New York Giants organization, where he continued to play 4 years in AAA baseball. He was a starting pitcher on August 13, 1950, and pitched a total of 22 innings against Rochester, which is still the record for starting pitcher in that league. Now, this is going back to when I received this back in 1984, 85-ish, so those records could have been broken since then. But I doubt it. 22 innings is a lot of innings. They don't really allow their guys to pitch that long anymore. He also holds the record for strikeouts in the old Interstate League while playing for the Trenton Giants. It doesn't really give the stats, and if you look him up, you don't get the stats there either as far as the strikeouts go. But anyway, he ended up working at Fuller Steel Company in Catasauqua. He was already retired by the time I started working there. And I always held on to this piece. I always, one of the first, I want to say they're one of the first people with a little bit of confidence in me, pursuing my dream. It's encouraging. And I really like this piece. I think it's a rare piece. I'm not sure how many people out there really have it, other than myself. So anyway, this is what I have for you this week. Hope it was interesting to you guys, as much as it is to me. It's I search eBay once in a while, and there's not too much on there of Andy Tomasic. A couple newspaper clippings, maybe. I think there's an autographed index card or something like that on there. But I'm interested in finding out. Did anybody ever hear of Andy Tomasic or know about him? I know his career, like I said, it was very short as far as baseball went, and maybe some of you Steelers fans have heard of him. He was a pretty big deal for Temple, especially, and served our country. And it's a lot to be proud of. It's unfortunate that he passed away several years ago, or I would actually try to find him. Whitehall's not that far away from where I live, maybe a 40-minute drive. All right, so that's what I have for you today. We'll turn this camera around, and I'll be right back. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope the content was interesting enough for you. I wish I would have had a ball signed to show. That would have been great. I actually do keep my eye out on eBay for any autographed items of his, which, like I said, it's very rare that you see anything on there really at all about him. So if anybody wants to comment, or anybody knows who knew who he was, I live pretty close to Whitehall, Allentown. Anybody watching it from that area, maybe you have some information about him that you would like to share. So I hope everybody's having a good weekend and a safe Memorial Day. Join your cookouts and whatnot, and it's all about honoring the men and servicewomen that have made the ultimate sacrifice with their lives for us to have freedoms. And I know Andy didn't die in combat or anything like that, but he did serve in the military, That's something still to be proud of. So thanks for joining me on this latest episode of Andy's Attic. Like, subscribe. Welcome to all newcomers. And have a super freaking awesome day. Peace out, everybody. I'm going to look at some baseball cards.